Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Well, it is Monday. Always got to keep in mind on Monday, slightly reduced risk. Not reduced risk, but reduced range. Anyways, we had a pretty down day last Friday, and over the weekend we have opened up substantially lower on the E-minis. But we're still not above the highs in the Treasuries, if I can show you here. So here, a gap lower in equities, but Treasuries not going much higher. Today, well, this week we do have the you know what, we should get the streaming links. Open in all tabs. Anyways, we have the FOMC meeting this week, so that's a big deal. And sometimes ahead of FOMC, people kind of get a little sniff of what's coming and we get a move. I don't know if that's going to happen. I think that it's going to be a complete surprise to the market. This is the first time in my memory that, there was a real chance that the market gets surprised by the headline interest rate number. I don't think that they'll do it, but there is a chance. It's still there, that chance. So yeah. Setting up my charts here. All right. Why do I already have a stop on here? You can't let that sort of thing happen. Okay, anyways, the links. Good morning. I need to see a couple of people found it on their own. Good morning. Always good to see people coming in on Twitch. And there's the Twitch link, and here's the YouTube link. Do we have other news? Okay, housing market, building permits, Canadian CPI, FOMC, of course. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index. Personal income and spending. Okay, so we've got a number of things coming. Oh yes, and Canadian GDP. US final GDP quarter over quarter. Well, this is tough, but I do think, well, we're right at the VWAP actually. Oof. My stomach is already giving me issues. Hold on. Anyways, the bull bear zone, I have it at 28. Top of it. NZB. So we're still in the middle. I think that we should probably, unless we see a really clear order flow signal, should stay out. Hmm. J Constant says Bitcoin's at 3,400. Yeah, they had a pretty good buy this morning, but I mean, get it. If that's as far as they go, that's not a good thing. Maybe it's really hard for me to make a judgment on like the short term movements. I still think Bitcoin's going to 2,000, but you know that move up, they're at a resistance point around 3,500. Like that might be where you go short, or at least there will be some people that will be going short there at 3,400. Doesn't mean that we can't make it back up to like 4,000 or whatever, but it is a resistance point. My nose really itches this morning. Holy cat. All right. Anyways, I was gonna fix this up so that we see all of the chat windows. Yes, like that. That one. This one. Here. Yeah. Excellent. Oh yes, and we need our squawk. FedWatch tool is currently pricing in a 78.4% probability that the FOMC raises rates. Yes, but that is by far the lowest percentage chance that I have ever seen. That is the most uncertain I've ever seen it. And at the very least, they're going to change something in the statement for sure, you know? It is incredible. This is Donald Trump tweet. It is incredible that with a very strong dollar and virtually no inflation, the outside world blowing up around us, Paris is burning, and China way down, the Fed is even considering yet another interest rate hike. Take the victory. Reasonably okay move up. I mean, it's only taken 1,000 to move up. We don't have super heavy liquidity. We're in a very uncertain zone. It's a very uncertain zone, but if equities decide to just continue to sell, who knows where it could go. Although, I mean, this is a gap down. So for the E-mini to continue selling today would really be something else. I mean, that would be like a gap open lower at the lows. I don't know, man. That'd be super crazy. That would be super crazy, don't you think? Good morning. We've seen people filtering in. I see you, lurkers. I can see when you come in. It tells me. Okay, so that was a good take right there. Maybe what it needs to make a move. Yeah, when food hits my stomach, like I haven't had my protein before I go to sleep because I ran out. It usually keeps my system full through the night. So it's empty, and then the food hits it, and it's just like, oh, it does not feel good. Let's reset the DOM here. Okay, well, 28 in the 30 years bid now. We're having a little bit of back and forth at 15F, but I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to make a new high here. I don't know, and just kind of see what happens. Okay, so the E-mini was led a little bit lower there. maybe they're backing off. You are seeing a little bit more volume in the E-mini. All right, there they're going for another step lower in the E-mini. I don't know, man. Is this gonna be like Black Monday? Cause that does not look pretty. This is just really awful action to start out with, right? Well, you are getting a reasonable amount of profit taking at 15.5. Wonder, is there, what are they talking about on CNBC? It's a now or never for a market down nearly 3% for the year with just 2 weeks to go. Oh, what? To end the year positive? Wow. Everybody's worried about a recession coming. Here's the thing. I've been watching the market since 2008. I did not see the peak and the drop. You know what I mean? Were were this many people knew it was coming last time? You know what I mean? Like everybody's looking for a recession. How can you know? Just seems a little weird that the market is that sure about it. And meanwhile, I'm over here looking at data and I'm like, I'm not so sure. Unless I start coming out and I start seeing GDP numbers, like really bad GDP numbers, then I'll start to be okay. There really is definitely some weakness here. But the kind of selling that we've seen just doesn't. Sense. Now, we are in an area where we would expect to see a lot of volatility. Okay. So we actually ticked down there. E-mini has come back a little bit. We can see some volume, some liquidity below us in the 2590 area. The area is not, I mean, you could maybe sell it here, but you would have to be calling for a bottom in the E-mini, I think, to do that. Well, the 30-year came down a lot there too. But it's actually not as high as it was previously. That's interesting. Hmm. Hmm. No. More food coming in. Good grief. Ugh. This does not happen every day. Okay, there, the E-mini did take another step, but Treasuries did not tick back up. Okay, now they ticked back up, but they ran into an iceberg. That 14.5 pull too easily, though. Look at that. Somebody wanted to short it. Yeah, when I saw that the iceberg at 15, I was like, ah, it does look like maybe it is a good short because we'd come down and then you're pushing back up and you're getting some absorption, and that can be a an indication that we're going to move down. And then you started to see a little bit of liquidity, get put behind us too, like the 47 at 15 half. If I had tried to get filled at 15 though, I would not have gotten filled. And they did just hit a critical spot there, and yeah, it kind of looks like though that the E-mini is trying, at least it's trying to pivot, or rather, it's just trying to make a swing here. Hmm. So here's the E-mini is making another little bit of a look. Treasuries seem to be responding again. What's this? Oh, that's unfortunate. It says that my subscriber count might change because they're removing spam. Thank you. Well, I do get a lot of spam on my channel, don't I? With all those cryptocurrency guys. Like, you do anything crypto, and the scammers come out, man. Okay. So the E-mini made a look at a new low, and they're heading up again now. They haven't made a higher high, but things are looking a little better. Yeah, somebody in the Discord asking about mid-December to mid-January are bad for trading. Do you think that's true? Well, I don't know about mid-January, but the second half of December is awful for trading. Especially that week between Christmas and New Year's Day. Just don't trade. Like, literally, just don't trade. You will, if you make money during that time, you got lucky. It's just it's poor trading, generally speaking. Yeah, it would be, you want to take a vacation after this. That's what I'll be doing. I don't think I'll be streaming, but I'll still be waking up early. I don't like messing up my schedule, you know? So I'll still wake up early, but I'll just probably use the time for something else. Maybe I gotta get a few things to record. And maybe do some programming. But don't trade during that time. That 1 week in particular is just really, really bad liquidity. There's a little bit of absorbing at 13, but I really looks like Treasuries would much rather come down. Now, they've come down on a much less liquidity. Much less liquidity. So there's people absorbing this every step of the way down. That's why when you look at the level 2, it's very negative here. But when you look at the stacking and pulling, it is negative, but it is not 100% clear. And then you see the cumulative delta. Well, it didn't really come down that much. So that would indicate to me that there are some longs in this market that are trapped. But they have not given up yet. And an imbalance. So it was a big buy there. Well, treasuries are trying to move up. It looks to me like they're trying to move up, but they are not getting anywhere. Now, and ZB is being really weird. You don't. What is this? This will make sense here in Discord. Anybody looking to get a Jigsaw trading license? Well, if you don't want your Jigsaw trading license anymore, then cancel the monthly fee. How would you end up giving it to somebody else? This doesn't make sense. It does not work that way. You can't. You can only pay. I mean, to my knowledge, you only pay for a year in advance if you buy it like at the end of the year. Seriously, they're laughing at me that I said it sounds like a scam. Come on, that's not how it works. I'm not talking about the subscription. Is he just talking about the license itself? Oh. Okay, maybe that's different. Ugh. Did you guys hear that in my stomach? Good grief. Okay. There's a little bit more of a buy. So here's the thing. Sometimes FOMC week we'll see really strong trends pop up out of nowhere. But if this was one of those days, it probably would have shown up already. So it kind of looks to me like treasuries have established a pretty solid range. They'll probably test the edges of those ranges, but I'm not. At the moment, I don't think that I'm really looking for trends. The 5-year really came into some liquidity there. Really came into some liquidity. Now we're going to come back up to the 15.5, and there's going to be a lot of liquidity in the 10-year, and we'll see what happens if they bust the high or not. On that other note, if you're interested in getting Jigsaw, they usually have deep discounts at the end of the year. Like if you signed up for the mailing list, he'll like offer a lifetime license at like 10% discount for like, you know, the first X people that come in. Like it's always a really limited time thing. Like you got to be on the list to catch it, but they're definitely worth waiting for if you're thinking about buying it. And then if you get the referral from somebody in the Discord, um, yeah, I think you both get like $30. So if you're thinking about getting Jigsaw, that's what I would do. I don't think I would want to buy somebody else's license though. This doesn't sound. Yeah. Be like using somebody else's toothbrush or something. You know, just doesn't. Do you use Journalytics? Yes. Oh yeah, it's great. I definitely make use of that. And you could like dictate to it and stuff now. I don't use those features, but I go through and check my weekly performance, generally speaking, with it. So it's a good tool. And my ZB is all messed up. Okay. So there was a big buy in the 30 year, and then it came off after they got a tick or two out of it. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so the E-mini is starting to show a little bit more buying. I need to reset this. Why is the interval width here not? Okay, so you are seeing a little bit of turnaround in the cumulative delta. They may have found a swing low in the E-mini. We've continued to see some buying here in the treasuries, but they came right back very quickly. And now there's a really big order up at that was 16. And a little bit of volume above us. So we'll see if they break out the bottom here. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. In the book, well, in the 5-year, there's still some indications of buying. On that move down, the stacking and pulling was still in favor of the buyers. But almost everything else I see across the board is pretty red. E-mini does look a lot better now. The problem is that we've seen this many times where it looks like they're done and they'll come back to maybe like 2600 and then get negative again. And no, you got to be careful with this bear market. Anytime you try and make money out of it, it's just going to swipe you down. Haven't day traded for a long time. If I could get $100 for it, it would be great. It's the lifetime license. Yeah, it's just that like you'd have to like I don't know if you can like change the email on them. I don't know. There's a lot of things about the account that's like tied to you. So I don't know how that would work. So I can't necessarily recommend buying a secondhand license. But I understand what he's saying. You can change the email. All right. Well, if you can change the email, that makes it a little better. I don't know. I can't say that I recommend it, but I'm not gonna say that it's a bad idea. I'm just a little something. It's like using somebody else's toothbrush, you know? It's like it's a toothbrush. It's supposed to be self-cleaning, right? No, it's just you don't do that. You just don't use somebody else's tooth. That's not gross. It's gross. What did he say? It's a toothbrush that hasn't been used in 2 years, if that helps. I didn't see that part. Sorry. So what is it about Jigsaw that it gets screwed up here? It does it almost every day. Kind of annoying. Definitely moving down. Okay, you can change the email and the password. I think you gotta take your credit card details off of it too, but I'm pretty certain that part changes. I'm pretty sure Peter would probably prefer that you just buy a full license though. Mm. I wonder, does it say anything in the FAQ? I'm too lazy to go and look right now. Does it say anything in the FAQ about transferring licenses? I've used PayPal, yeah. No, it's attached to like the trading license. It's attached to your. I canceled that. I wasn't using it for a while. Guys, Peter would assassinate me. Yeah. Listen, I tell you what, Peter Davies is a really nice guy, and he's a really good vendor. But do not get on his bad side. All right. He will fuck you up for sure. Yeah. I don't know. We've been sitting here at 13 for a really long time. It seems. I mean, we moved up and we came back to it, and they're still having trouble with it. And this is why I'm trying to keep it on the down low. Well, like you're saying it in the Discord for everybody to see, though, dude. No. But hey, it's. I mean, it's there. I'm not gonna like delete your post or anything like that. So it's there. If somebody's interested, they can message him, and we'll see how it ends up working out. But okay, look, they're going for 14. I don't know what it's going to take to get me involved in this market. I mean, we do have 4,000 on the Dom now, 4,500 at some prices. Is $100 worth being assassinated by Peter Davies? Probably not. Probably not. But I mean, for $100, that is pretty fucking good. Because it's worth like 500, right? I think he says that he paid 380 for it, but I think I paid 500 or 400 for mine. In this bear market, it is. I don't know. So here's the thing that I find really interesting about this bear market is, and maybe it's just because I'm becoming more connected, but I'm seeing more and more people trading. So like I joined a Facebook group a couple of weeks ago, and for like it's like e-mini traders, futures traders, but man, there's like so many new posts on there. Like every day, people saying, "Oh, I just got Ninja Trader. I'm having this problem. I'm having this problem." You know, like and they're often very very novice questions. And I don't know. It just feels like there's people coming into the market, and that there's still many people to come into the market. Like that whole like they have to pump things up so that the public buys it, before it can crash, sort of a thing. I don't really feel like we saw that. Like this action between March and October, where we moved up and made a new high, it wasn't like that. I didn't really see super broad participation on that move up, in fact. So it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? Am I, am I, am I the only one seeing this? Just seems kind of, I don't know. And then when I go on CNBC every day, they're talking about a recession. I'm like, how can a recession happen if everybody's expecting it? Like well before it even happens. Isn't it supposed to be like the bonds show the yield curve invert, but then everybody brushes it off? I thought that's what was supposed to happen. And I've never seen a true bear market in. Well, let me take that back. I've seen a true bear market because I saw 2008. That was ugly. And I would consider the Euro crisis and all these other things bear markets. But I've never seen a true peak. Peak happened before I got involved, so I've never really seen a true peak in the E-mini. Yeah, now that everyone expects a recession, I'm skeptical it will happen right now. Yeah, it's just I don't know. And like the thing is that bonds are pricing in a recession potentially at the end of 2019, but like only just barely and only at one spot in the curve, you know? So it's like people are reading way too much into that signal because it would go back to what Yellen has said. Yellen said, because there is a negative carry in treasuries right now, the chances of the yield curve inverting are much higher. And if they do invert, it may not be signaling the same thing that it normally does, simply because of the negative carry. So it's a really good point, and I don't see anybody talking about that. You don't see that analysis on CNBC. In fact, it was like when it happened, very very few, only the bond guys that really seem to know what they're talking about really caught that and said, ah, that's an insightful comment. But it's important to the business because you kind of lose money by holding it. If you're like a primary dealer and you're just holding them, you're losing money. They want to get rid of them. And that puts pressure on the curve to flatten faster than it normally would. Okay, so here's a little. Okay, we're to the same level we were before 14 half. They're hitting 14 half pretty aggressively though. E-mini is not moving down yet, but it sure looks like it could. It looks like it could. Eh, I don't know. They were looking like they was gonna go up, and now look, here's the E-mini starting, and right there on the open, a bunch of big, big blue bubbles. Okay, so there's the sellers coming in. That's ugly. Ugly. Ooh, a little stop run lower. And another stop run lower. That one is seeing heavy absorption. Oh my. Oh my, what is going on? Um, was so that thing I was talking about with Yellen, was that in the latest Fed comments? It wasn't in the Fed comments. It was they have the news conference afterwards, and it was like her either her last or her second to last news conference that she said that. They asked her a question about the yield curve, and she said, well, there's a probably more likely for it to invert because of the negative carry. And my understanding of the negative carry is that because you are paying more for the bond than what it is worth, there is a negative carry for holding it to, um, uh, like if you held it and nothing changed, then you would lose money because you bought it for like 150 and it's worth like 100. Does that make sense? It's been a while, so I'm a little fuzzy on all the details, but that's my understanding of it. They're right back at the 16, and that 5K sitting at 16 is looking awful strong. Um, I'm thinking that given the way that we moved up and the craziness that we're seeing there in the E-mini, that they might take it. There's the level break set up right there at 15.5 with 48.36 absorbed. So they might hit it. It was holding, maybe. This most recent action is kind of more range bound, so I think the probability of it busting up there at the top is a little uncertain. The E-mini takes another dump, though, they would definitely bust it. It'd be pretty spectacular. No, no, it's still sitting there. All right, they're stacking up a little bit more. They're gonna take it now. And they're looking that E-mini is eyeing it. Tisk tisk. E-mini throwing the tantrum. All right, they took it. Oh, so it took 89.44. I do not see stops at 16.5. So you see a big number like that, and it was not stops. That could continue. You're gonna have to hold it first though, so we traded back over it. Tough call for me. There's a lot of liquidity there at 15. There we go. And now you're getting the relatively large order at 16.5. Not sure if ES is done with this yet, though. ZB didn't necessarily make a new high yet either. So it's a little suspect. So that things are still a little suspect, I think. Well, there's the new low in the E-mini. A lot of absorption on it, though. If it goes much further, you might get another one of those stop runs. A lot of volume here at these highs, too. In the Treasuries. Okay, there's another new low. Now we're getting some stops. That looked like maybe some stops. $17. This is ugly. Mm-mm. Unless I get an epiphany and decide to start day trading again, yeah. Well, I mean, it's probably the smart thing, right? So the thing is, we had a good move up, right, from 13. So from 13 to 17, good 8 ticks up. It would have been a good trade. When it was happening, it was a little weird because, like we were saying, it's like they didn't really sell it, did they? The cumulative delta did not drop when it fell down. It stayed even, and so it looks like some people are buying it here. Um, but on a Monday, it's kind of hard to really know what it's going to do, right? Now, this is just looking like trend all the way, you know? And the concern I have now is this is a gap lower on the E-mini. This isn't, we're opening below Friday's low. Friday was pretty negative on the week, and now to be opening below those levels and seeing the beginning action just taking a beeline south is super negative action. I mean, that's there's a good chance that at somewhere around here it reverses it very aggressively, but it is not worth trying to stand in front of it, because when you get a gap down lower, like the probability is that you reverse and retrace that skipped step. But if it doesn't, it can move down very, very strong, and so your risk reward is very scary, right? Because if it keeps going down, the amount of risk that you're taking on is heavy. We need to see a real solid, clear indication of a reversal to be taking this short. I did say, well, the way that they took 16 means that they could continue. We're now 3 ticks higher. So that puts us at like 18 as a target for that one. Oh my god, look at that. I'm sorry for swearing. Lord forgive me, but oh my gosh. Like the world is falling apart. What the fuck? My squawk not going? Oh, there must be some headlines coming out through. I had it muted. That is so, oh man. Such unfortunate move. This kind of action is time to start thinking about getting aggressive. Because that's terrifying. That move is terrifying to me. Okay. A little bit too much absorbed at 17.5. But the delta's starting to swing wildly. Okay. Ooh, they're hitting up into 18 too, huh? Big iceberg at 18. Okay.
This ECB buying a net of 4.479 billion euros in its public sector purchase program, buying a net 138 million euros of assets in the covered bond purchase program. On the asset-backed security purchase, buying a net of 36 million, by a net of 470.
Okay. So pretty big iceberg is 17.5. Went offer for a bit, but it's still not quite holding. We are the E-mini is attempting to make it above where there was some bubbles at 25.78. So if it can make it above there, then we might be in good shape. But that's a big if. And they're still fighting over it here. Big time. My 18 is looking weak. Okay. Well, I like the kind of back and forth that I get there. At least they're willing to fight over it. Hmm. Okay, a little bit of buying there. That was good. Not enough to hold it. Lots of bickering here. Okay. Wow. What was that? Fire is really starting to win there. Obviously, they've got a good step up to take still, but there was a lot of volume there, and now we're above it.
So in 10 minutes time, we'll be getting the US
I'll retest it.
the housing market index for December, expected at 61 against prior of 60, in the range of 58 to 65. Looking at last month's breakdown as well, the current single-family home sales were at 67, while the index of home sales over the next 6 months, 65, and finally the index of prospective buyers at 45. Speaking up on a note now from TDS before the housing market data, this thing will be closely watched following the posting of the largest monthly decline since 2014 last month, though market expectations are for a muted rebound to 61 from 60.
Okay. Well, I didn't hold that. It's still fighting. The runs up look better to me than the runs down, though. And the
Read
17
news
half is a
developing
little
upon a
weak.
tweet from BuzzFeed that the EU27 ambassadors will be meeting on Wednesday. They'll be talking about the formal process for approving withdrawal agreements. They may also be discussing the no deal preparedness as the Commission is set to publish its contingency plans.
Well, this could just fall apart here really quickly, couldn't it? They are holding it, though. They are buying it there. For sure. Those kind of look like short covering rallies, though. Well, the 5 year is sitting there like right on the edge of a new high. Like it's no big deal. That 73 is really strong support. You don't want to go below that for some reason. I really think that so there's an unfinished auction at 2578 or so, and I think that there is a very high probability that we could get back up there. Now, treasuries are not agreeing. Their treasuries are thinking that we're going to go for another allowing out. So that 19 is pulling. So it went and made that new low, but it did not move the cumulative delta. And you get a bunch of short covering again. Really, really blue candles. Back up into that range. Ooh, strong buying there.
Picking up on a tweet now from BBC's Laura Kunsberg, sources saying to her that Corbyn will be calling for a vote of no confidence in the PM, not in the government, as if she does not announce a date for a vote on her Brexit deal as soon as possible. Expect the move from him in response to PM's statement at 3:30.
Okay. So treasuries are now sitting at yesterday's high, 19. I think that the spot that I tried was okay, but it just didn't hold. Now you are seeing a lot more iceberging at 19 and some buy-in.
Laura Kunsberg, that's Labour source in the PM, is trying to run down the clock to leave the Parliament with unacceptable choices for bad deal or no deal.
Same old thing.
Sky News as well backing up that source's piece again. If the PM does not announce a date for a meaningful vote today, Corbyn will be announcing a no confidence vote in the Prime Minister.
Mm.
Another 3 minutes time now until the US NAHB housing market index again for December, expected at 61 against par of 60.
I didn't like how I got filled there. Hmm. Okay.
1 minute. Bit of commodity news now, and Nexen reporting that the UK North Sea Buzzard oil field has restarted production. Repairs have been completed.
Hmm.
10 seconds now.
Okay, now that's good. Now you're getting a stronger reversal.
56 for the NAHB housing market index, well below expectations of 61. On the breakdown, the index of current single-family home sales were 61, the prospective buyers at 43, while the index of home sales over the next 6 months 61. So that reading was the lowest since May 2015 versus the 60 in November.
Big order right there. Okay. I'm gonna go for this right here. Yeah. This didn't tick down. Now there's this one. 85 is stacking up.
Geopolitical news as well, picking up by Twitter that the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee has reporting an investigation into Russian interference in the U.S. elections, released by new knowledge.
Sounds like old news. But don't like this. Treasury's leading us higher again. I'd say buyers are holding this level really well, though. Even if they fail it, they could come back to 25.78 and you know and reverse there and then move higher. Now, really slowed down now. That's interesting. Ah, shit. It may reverse here, but I think I'm too early. Oh, look at that. See, the treasuries are just not backing off at all.
A bit more in this paper piece about a vote. Corbyn again said to threaten a move if the PM doesn't set a Brexit date. Though a vote of no confidence in May wouldn't necessarily trigger an election, saying it's a political gesture.
Anytime that the market's moving down like this, I'm hearing Brexit headlines. Well, now they're absorbing a 19.5 again, like they're gonna do a level break. Okay. Nope. Well, there's definitely some selling of the treasuries here. But look at the 5-year. Look at that liquidity that they just left under us in the 5-year. Just gonna pull. Who does some strong buying there in the E-mini? Very one of the faster moves up that we've seen. Hmm. Yep, look at that, it's pulling. The E-mini did not make a new high though. Not yet. Not yet. It's thinking about it. Oh, she's thinking about it. You know what? My chat in YouTube was not updating, so I just refreshed it, and I see now. Oh, I see Sam Ratch asking what software is this. It is Jigsaw Day Trader. Good morning to Ace Trades.
A bit more Brexit news now. ITV News now reporting that the UP source on Labour's no confidence motion. We're not committing ourselves either way. We'll see where the situation is closer to time.
It's so close. Ha. Stops. That's what we want to see, yes. MB stops. Get out of here. No, I like that. I don't like that. I would think that 18.5 should be weaker. Well, the 5-year is pushing. There you go. That baby bird is saying hello as loud as he can. Yeah, buy that spoo. Come on. Good morning, Twitch. It was actually, we were getting pretty high in viewer count there for a little bit. And then I think they got bored because I wasn't taking any trades, or maybe it was because I took a bad trade. I don't know. So now we're like the 12. And then they're missing the best part when the E-mini is recovering. I think, I mean, this is really, so now if they get above 2560, or sorry, 90, yeah. Now you're really looking positive. Now you're above the VWAP, you know? A very strong reversal that we just saw there. Very, very strong. Now the 10-year is coming down very gradually. They're like not giving it up easily. So far, only a pullback by equities bouncing nicely. I
Or
see a bond at
political news by Robert
crossroads.
Smith from BBC tweeting early signs that the Conservative ERG Brexiteers won't be backing the Labour motion of no confidence Prime Minister.
See if leading rejected R1 but holds well below, so not decided yet. No, and they're not. I mean, they've cleared 18.5 a few times, but they're not aggressively pushing it. Again, the E-mini kind of pretty sharp pull there. Fix this. Can you repeat the software? Oh, I didn't see YouTube's being done today. I'm sorry, guys. So it's Jigsaw Day Trader. So if you go to jigsawtrading.com, that's the name of the software. Also, I have a getting started in futures video that like really answers all those questions. It has like a trillion links in the description. So check that out. And what I am looking for here is indications through the liquidity and the stacking and pulling to determine if a particular price level is going to hold. So what I'm seeing right now is that they don't seem too anxious to sell into 18.5 right here. And the E-mini kind of made a really strong push up and kind of overextended itself a little bit. So this 18.5 may hold at least for a little while. Yeah.
Of energy. Now, via zero hedge, ordered the inventory coming in a build of 630,000 barrels this week. So shorts are trying to pile on it here. UK Prime Minister May to begin a statement in the House of Commons. We'll be posting a link to watch it live. Just a reminder of the Labour sources we've seen in the past hour. So that's Jeremy Corbyn will be telling the PM she must name a date for a meaningful vote, or he will be tabling a vote of no confidence in her. If she fails to do so, the motion will be tabled tomorrow. Just be aware that this vote of confidence is in Prime Minister May, not the government itself. The government would not fall if it is passed. So it's basically a tactic stunt and not really legally binding.
Right. My understanding is that the majority party voted on no confidence on her already, and she passed. And now in the larger House of Commons or whatever, they can do a vote of no confidence, but they already know that there's not enough to do it. And if it happened, and the reason is because if it happened there, then the whole government would end up getting reelected, and they don't want to do that. So it's just a stunt. The Twitter robots appear to be picking up on it, though. So I'm noticing that they're just trading back and forth at 19.5 a lot, and they're not a lot going into where our order is at 19. Okay. Strong move up there.
Comments now from the French finance minister, the mayor. These finance bonds, tax cuts targeting 1.5 billion.
Hmm. So almost all of the liquidity that was bid at 19 is pulling in as fake. Cause I'm at 427. Okay, they filled me. There's a little bit of an iceberg there. Good trade. Okay trade. I shouldn't say it was an amazing trade or anything, but if I could get that, I might take it.
Or Laura Kunzberg tweeting, DUP Sammy Wilson telling her that the DUP won't be backing Labour if they manage to get their vote in the PM.
What do we think about Trump and the border wall? Well, I mean, there's going to be a shutdown. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I think that's kind of what you're getting at, right? I mean, this guy. I really think that when he had that meeting with Nancy and Schumer, that what he was really saying is my tolerance for pain is much higher than yours is, and we've already proven that once with the last shutdown. So go ahead, shut it down, and I'll take all responsibility for it. And you can demonize me and make me look as bad as you want, but I would love nothing more than to have a long, extended fight, keeping the government open over whether or not we fund a border wall. And it's an interesting political calculation because the public is with him on the border wall, generally speaking. Like 60, I think that in the past, some polls have shown upwards of 60% public support for building a border wall. But public generally doesn't like it when the government's not getting along and there's a shutdown. So I don't know. It's awfully Yeah, it's going and it happens here. When does it? I forget when it happens. I don't know. I still don't think you trade that week between December and Jan. Between Christmas and New Year's Day, but I think that it may happen that the government shutdown is slated for around there. Let's look that up. Oh, okay. Next Friday. So this Friday, based on when that article was written. Well, I tried to do something clever there, and they did not give it to me. How very unfortunate. Okay. So that time the E-mini made a move. Oof. Oh, I got filled. Anyways, tried to cancel it. See, buyers may hold it here. I don't know. Okay. Well, I was able to scratch that one. I guess that's good. Peter went long, buns. Okay. If I'd been a little bit more patient on that one, I would have gotten paid, but given the way it's behaving, I'm not so sure that the risk was worth it. Fire's not giving up there, so we may actually get the stronger move down. I don't know. Oh, well, they backed off.
segue. That's Prime Minister May starting in the comments.
Okay, well, I made it back to only -4. Really, really made a big mistake there with my sell at 18. Um, just, ugh. I mean, I had the right idea, but I really should have. And I keep doing this. Really should have gotten rid of it a lot faster, huh? So I'm not quite sure what I've got to do to get myself on the ball on that respect, but yeah. In that trade, I took it at 19 half, and I wanted to take it off at 19. I would have gotten filled at 19. I actually thought about buying it at 19. Both of those trades would have worked out because either way, we were more balanced around 19 half than we are. And I think that you could probably get ticks between 19 half and 19 a couple of times. Just because of the way that it's set up. But kind of depends on what the mini wants to do here, because if you think it's going to go down, then you probably want to sell 20 or 19 half, assuming that you think the E-mini is going to go up, and if you think the E-mini is going to go down, you want to buy 19 half. So yeah, 19 half, 19. So it's this 3 tick range here. You buy this one and sell this one. And I'm not really sure what it's going to do. I think that the market is basing off because May is going to speak. So let's just watch it. I don't think I'm going to take another trade. I'm going to post my notes, and we'll see what the UK does to us here.
It is reiterating that the EU leaders could not have been clear that they did not want to use the backstop. There is no plot to keep us in the backstop. By saying she knows that the Parliament is still deeply uncomfortable with the backstop, further clarification is possible. Looking at new ways of empowering House of Commons over the backstop.
Hmm. Okay. Well, you could potentially sell 20 still, but they're kind of buying it. I don't know. Man, my original sell was at 18 and a half. So it's not like I didn't have. So it wasn't that far off. It was not that far off. A good sell that I had those at 20.
The vote will take place in the week of the 14th of January.
Oh, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know.
Bit of European equity news as well. The EBA is to run next week EU-wide bank stress tests in 2020.
So yeah, it could be worse, but I still was able to catch at least one winner that was okay. This really should not be so bad, but I was kind of shouldn't have done that. So what happened was I took one tick here. And they said, okay, so since I got the one tick, let's see if I can do 2 contracts here now. Because I had the extra to space, and then it went away against me, and I just let it go all the way. I should have taken off some much, much earlier. So that's the mistake I keep making. I'm not quite sure what I need to do to get myself to be like, maybe I need to move one of those stops down or something. I don't know, but that needs work. And I don't see any other questions here. Yeah, so I don't know. Interesting action for a Monday, so I think we're gonna have an interesting week. And we did make a new high. So now we get this pivot way up at 23 to look for. We might make it too. Yeah. Okay. Well, it depends on what the Federal Reserve does, of course. Really feels to me though like that the market is really concerned about Brexit primarily though still. So we'll see. And I will see you guys tomorrow.